Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of Overcoming. My name is Ronja, and I am so excited to welcome you here. And just as a little disclaimer, I have a bit of a flu. There we go, which means that my voice may be a little bit off, but I didn't want that to get in the way of me finally sitting down to record this episode because it has been a young minute. So let's dive right in.
We're on a journey here of overcoming all we fear. We're looking past what others say, no longer standing in our way. Why?
So I have been struggling quite a lot lately. I feel like for the longest time I have been battling out this internal tug of war between two opposing sides. On the one hand, there's my heart, there's my light, my energy, my love for people, for animals, and for this beautiful world that we get to live in. There is this dream to inspire others to be a little more, to live a little more, to trust more in the power that we each hold as breathing, living, and loving human beings. There is this urge to serve, to help others in whatever way I can, and to pay it forward. Ultimately, I just really want to spread kindness and leave this world a little bit better, a little bit kinder than how I found it. I feel like at my core, that is me, my essence, my most authentic and truest self. And while I really struggle with positive self-talk, that's a whole other story, I feel like these are some pretty amazing qualities. Like, this is a bloody good core to have. And if only this was the place from where I was making my moves and my decisions all the time, like, I'd be good. I'd be on my way. There would be no bloody stopping me. But then there's the other side. There is my overthinking, my preempting of negative outcomes, my limiting beliefs about myself. There is just a lot of negative thinking, feelings of unworthiness or just not being deserving. This idea that I do not have the right to take up space, that I'm just a waste of people's time and energy. There's just a lot of shitty stuff piled up within me, really. And a lot of it isn't even my own. It's things that I've internalized over time and that I have become so identified with that I struggle to identify them for what they really are, which is just a bunch of really flippant, unkind stories that my mind is telling me, stories that I don't have to buy into, which is easier said than done though, because going back to that analogy of the internal tug of war, when that negative side wins the upper hand, and it's been doing that a lot lately, a lot of sense and reason just kind of goes out the window. Like, I surely would not only be on episode 3 of Overcoming was it not for that internal tug of war. Was it not for that bloody dark side winning? This sounds like Batman in The Dark Knight Rises. But for that like dark side, winning round after round after round. And it's taken me, a year and a month to work on this episode after posting the second one. And I did the second one almost a whole year after posting the first one. that is not a track record that I am proud of at all. I don't only want to put out an episode once a year. But I guess just because it's been this way in the past, it doesn't have to mean that it will be this way going forward. So here's to hopefully creating a momentum that will see me posting episodes and creating in general more regularly, because that's what I've always wanted to do. That's what's always fulfilled me the most when I get to create, be it through writing, through sharing stories, creating little videos, dancing my heart out, or breathing life into a character on stage. I think it's what is most aligned with me at my core. It is what comes most natural to me, what I feel called to do, what I love the most, other than dogs and connecting with beautiful souls. And yet, it's something that I have by far not done enough of. Coughing break. Because as you might guess, my dark side would keep me from it. And the more time that would pass without me stepping into my potential, the more unbearable life would get for me. Because there is weeks that turned into months and even years where I just wouldn't breathe life into all the stories, into all the ideas and projects that lay dormant in my mind, where I was my own nemesis, basically, unable to overcome myself. There was no one to blame, no one standing in my way other than myself. And having to live with myself when I was the sole thief of my joy, when I was basically ruining everything for myself, that got unbearable at times. To a point where I sometimes really just did not want to have to live with myself or to be myself. Even though there is this beautiful core, but what's the point when it never gets to see the light of day? But that just actually made me think of something that I learned when I was with the monks, which is that where I put my energy is key. There's this wisdom that one of the monks shared, which resonated so deeply with me and pretty much blew my mind when I first heard it. So he told the story of the two wolves, how we all have these two wolves inside of us that are constantly fighting for the upper hand. There is the good wolf with all the good qualities, pretty much what I have described as my light. And then there's the bad wolf with all the quote-unquote negative qualities. So my dark side, basically. And pretty much like my analogy of the constant tug of war, they are at a constant battle with one another. But, and here we go, which wolf wins? The one that you feed. Boom. This, oh my word, this blew my mind. So the one that you feed, the one that you give your attention to, because where attention goes, energy flows. And I have been focusing all my attention on all the parts that I don't like about myself and all those negative stories that my mind is telling me. I've been breathing so much life into them and giving them free rein for the longest bloody time, instead of just focusing on my light, instead of just sending all my energy and attention there. Because I have the power. I can choose. I just need to feed the right wolf. Yo, that is deep. What an epic realization to have, or like realization, because back when I was with the monks, I even made a video about this. I shared this realization and I told others at the end of it to focus on the good wolf. And I know that I was definitely tapping into that energy too when I was in Thailand, when I was creating that video, or when I was creating in general, because again, it's been a minute since. But then I think with leaving the monks and with leaving Thailand, that just quickly went out of the window again. Which I guess also explains why it's been a lot more difficult for me to create ever since I arrived to New Zealand, which was in August of 2023, last year. Um, and it's not that I don't have stories that I would love to share. I am sitting on so much bloody footage. Anyway, it's because I've been focusing my energy on the wrong thing, on my fear of how it will be received, on the preempting of negative outcomes, on feeling like an imposter because who am I to create and put something out there? Like, who would possibly want to watch me or listen to me? My bad wolf, my bad wolf is the worst creator in the history of ever because he never puts anything out there. Because he leads me to believe that I am not skilled enough, that my face is best not to be seen, that nothing I could possibly put out would ever be good enough, so why even bother? When my energy should go to my why it is that I want to create, the love that I have for storytelling, for documenting, for capturing moments, how I want to touch and inspire others, how I want to connect, to share, and to grow. How just by being part of this human experience, I do have the right to take up space, to share my voice, and to shine my light. That is the energy that I want to tap into. That's where I want to create from. So I guess it's about bloody time that I put my bad wolf on a diet. Like a much overdue and very much needed diet. And I don't know. I think I will end I will end this episode with this realization. I actually wanted to pick up where I left off because I was in an incredibly low state when I shared the last episode, like incredibly low. And then there was this quote in a book that found me that pretty much saved my life. And then there was the call to attend Yes Theory's storytelling bootcamp, which I was so hesitant to attend because here I was thinking that there is no way I can get out of my own way. Like there's no way that I guess my good wolf will win over the bad wolf. But then there was this like subtle and yet persistent voice telling me to just go for it. I guess that was the good wolf whispering like, yo, I'm here. Just give me some food, bro. I'm starving. And thankfully, I listened to that and I signed up because joining that bootcamp did so much for me. I got to connect to some really beautiful souls. I got to learn quite a few very important lessons. I think the most important one being that done is better than perfect, which really propelled me to just finally get started on this YouTube journey, like to finally embark on it because it's something that I had been wanting to do forever. But Mr. Bad Wolf was like, nah, I should call him Greg. I don't know, but I just had this thought of like, I'm going to call him Greg. And next time I talk about him, I'll just be like, Greg, shut up. Like every time I hear the Bad Wolf coming up inside me, I'll just be like, Greg, not today, bro. Like, move to the side. It's not your party. Yeah, so where was I going with this? Starting my YouTube. That's where I was going. Yeah, so I finally started my channel, which I wouldn't have done had it not been for that boot camp. And stars also just aligned in the most beautiful of ways that actually allowed me to connect to both Thomas and Stefan from Yes Theory. I had sent a message to Thomas just telling him how much I appreciated his sharings and how it had really, really helped me like to get started. And I thought the odds of him even reading this message were very low, but he did actually read it and he responded to it. And fast forward by a couple of weeks, when the boot camp had ended, shortly after the last like finale call, I sent him a voice note just to yet again share my experience and like the profound effect that it had had on me and just how grateful I was. And he responded with a voice note. And I was actually thinking of sharing a little bit of that in this episode, but I think I will do that in the next one. But he was basically speaking about my voice and sharing that, like, had I not mentioned that I did have a podcast already, like, he would have urged me to start one because he says that I have a great voice. Not right now, maybe, because I'm sick. But like he spoke about the potential in my voice and that I should just tap into the energy from which I was recording the voice note to him from, and that like, yeah, that there's a lot of potential. And it's funny that he said that because when I sent the voice note, it took me a long time to actually send it because my overthinking. Greg was showing up to the party, but I managed to silence him and to just really tap into like all the, like my inner light and just all the gratitude that I was feeling. And then those words basically just flowed out of me. Anyway, there is a lot that has happened since, a lot of good stuff. The second chance of finally writing my book, and I actually did, and I submitted Falling Into Place, because that's what it's called, on the last possible day, which just so happened to be my grandma's birthday. And I know that, yeah, that she was like cheering me on from above and that she is so proud. So there was just something about the timing yet again, which is also what Falling Into Place is all about. And then there was me eventually leaving the monks and starting my adventure in New Zealand and the highs and lows that have been going on since. But yeah, I feel like all of that is too much to squeeze into this episode. I've given a teaser, so there will be more about this in the next one. And there will be a next one. And it's not only going to come out in a flippin' year, because Greg is on a diet. So, yeah. Sorry, coughing break. So, yeah, I will just end it here. If you have made it to this point, thank you so much for your time, for your energy. And this is really important for me to always end my episodes with this reminder, because I think it's a reminder to myself, but it's a reminder to everybody out there as well. Because again, I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who tends to, feed their Greg, or whatever they may call the bad wolf, and who sometimes forgets about, focusing on their light and believing in all the power that they hold. So this is my reminder to you and myself as well, that you are amazing, you are worthy, you are capable and deserving of love. Like, you are so deserving of love, just the way you are, and with everything that you bring to the table. And if you are struggling, please know that you are never alone, and that even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. And you deserve your own kindness and compassion, no matter how undeserving of it you may feel. And if, like me, you have been focusing your attention on the wrong thing, like giving it to the bad wolf, join me in putting him or her on a diet and preparing a feast for our good wolf, because man, do they deserve it. Yeah, I am sending you all so much love, and I'll catch you at the next one. Toodles! That was good!
We're leaving fear and doubt behind, no longer blocked by our own mind. We see the power that we hold. We're stepping up